Retro Rob plays everything.
Hey, Rob here, and today I have got something interesting to show you. At least I think it's interesting. It is the Colecovision 192-in-1 multi-card by Retro Electronic. Now, I know you guys are going to say, hey, they make SD cards for this. Why would you just want a 192-in-1? Well, one of the reasons is that this is significantly less expensive than something like a Harmony card. Which is well over $100. This sucker clocks in delivered at around $45. Now, I'm going to note that Retro Electronic is the only place I've seen selling it. I'll link it down below. And it is in France, so it might take some time to get to the US, so you're going to need to be patient if you are a US citizen. It took mine a couple weeks to show up. It wasn't too bad, I didn't think. Anyway, there is a list of the games that you get with it running down the side of this right now as I'm talking. In fact, I probably started before this, so don't worry though. I've got a link down below that lists all the games and their Switch location too. And speaking of that, how does this thing work? Well, it's really pretty simple. If you look right on top, there is a bank of dip switches here, and you basically have a list. And I'm going to put that list up here, actually just part of it to give you an example. And say I want to do BCs Quest for tires. Well, it says off, 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 on, off. So I would do, here we go, start from 1, off, off, off. I can't see what I'm doing, so off, 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 off. We'll start with the off, 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 off. And then it is what? On, on, I said, and off. So it would look like that. That would be off, 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 on, off. Best conversation I think we've ever had. I mean, really just quite good. So if I plug this in now, it would be running BC's Quest for tires. Why don't we just try a couple games on it real quick and show you how it works. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to be running this on my Dina 2-in-1. If you don't know anything about the Dina 2-in-1, it is a Colecovision compatible system that was made in, I think, the late 80s, early 90s. I've got a video on it. I'll link that too down below. Let's get playing. Okay, here we have BC's Quest for Tires, which is the first game I programmed. Like I said, we're only going to try a couple. As you can see, it works perfectly fine. If you're worried about the stretching effect, that has nothing to do with the cartridge. It has to do with my recording equipment that I'm using to record it. Note, this game's not emulated. It's running on real Colecovision hardware. The Dina is actually a sanctioned Colecovision clone, and it does indeed use the exact same hardware as the Colecovision. That said, I've also tested this on my actual stock Colecovision, and it works just fine. No like weird stuff. I know I've used multi-carts in the past, and they're not really my favorite thing because I found that a lot of them are cheaply produced, and some of the games, the dumps aren't very good. I've tested about 25 games on this total and have not had any problems with the dumps. They seem to be really, really good and work just like the originals. That said, man, BC's Quest for Tires really doesn't hold up as much as it used to. Although I guess if you are a fan of those simple games that are on the touchscreen devices, this is probably going to be okay for you. It's funny how it changes the pace of the game in the second level. It's fine that it's faster, but it actually changes how long your head holds down, or how long you jump. So you got to change your timing. Anyway, annoying. Doesn't hold up that well. Let's take a look at a game that does hold up really well, which is Frenzy. Okay, and here we have Frenzy. Frenzy is a great game that has held up really well on the Colecovision. I think this is probably the best port of Frenzy that was made. It is a cousin of Berserk, and just a little bit harder. Got a little bit more nuance to it, and a little bit better graphics. Just great game altogether. Come on, die. And, oh, shot myself. I hate that. That happens a lot in Frenzy, too. Hold on a second. Let's try and get to a more interesting looking level, though. There we go. Go, 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 go. Nothing interesting here. Ooh. Got it. And I'm down. Aw, bummer. But anyway, Frenzy, great game. Let's go take a look at one more game. And here we have Bejeweled, which is interesting because, of course, it never actually came out on the Colecovision. And that is a point to make here. They've got a number of homebrew games on here as well that you never would have got to play on the original hardware without it. So that's really, really nice, I think. And even though this game is a little bit clunky, it's neat to see, right? Okay, so final thoughts on the ColecoVision 192 and 1. Well, for $50, you get nearly 200 games, including some homebrew that you never got to play on an actual ColecoVision before. So I think that's a really good deal right there. You're going to have to be willing to wait a while if you're in the US, like I am, for it to deliver because it's coming in from France. So keep that in mind. Be patient. I do kind of wish they would have encased this somehow to protect it from electrostatic discharge, or maybe, you know, a possible spillage that could get on it. It could have been done a little bit nicer, and I would have been even willing to pay a little bit more had they encased it in a cartridge. That said, you can hack your own cartridge up. In fact, I'm doing that right now. Other than that, I mean, really my only other minor complaint is that the directory of games isn't in alphabetical order. So you got to do a search. You can do a Control F to go find the game you're looking for in there, or else you could just put it all in a spreadsheet and reorganize it. But be noted, it's a small annoyance. So all in all, I give it a thumbs up. I think it's worth the money. It's pretty well put together. I like it. If you enjoyed this video, do me a big favor, give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in a couple days. Bye!
Retro Rocks Gaming Videos.